Hi everyone! So today we're going to be taking a look at two colors from Daniel Smith. Both of these are made with PR101, synthetic iron oxide. Both of these are series 1. So I was looking in my Daniel Smith watercolor dot chart and I figured that these two looked very similar and I was like, what's the difference? And I did look online and their swatches they look quite similar, but I don't know how it'll translate to real swatches, so that's why I wanted to take a look at it today. The Lunar Red Rock seems to be maybe more granulating, whereas the Indian Red, in my personal experience, their Indian Red, or most Indian Reds, are really strong tinting and also rather opaque. So I'm wondering if this Lunar Red Rock might be less opaque. I wouldn't expect it to be completely transparent, but if it is, I'd be much happier because I do like the hue of Indian Red, but the opacity sometimes makes it hard to mix colors cleanly. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. First up, I have Indian Red right here. Beautiful. Again, it is rather opaque in mass tone, but it does wash down to a nice, like, if you're using it diluted, it's not as opaque. I'm gonna see if I could pack on some more pigment. Okay. And then Lunar Red Rock. Lunar Red Rock. Okay. It's going on, it looks to be the same hue. Same hue. Maybe not as opaque. Let's see if I could pack on more pigment. Yeah, it seems like it's not as opaque and maybe slightly more granulating. Let's wait for these to dry and I'll be right back. Alright, so the swatches have completely dried. And the first thing that I could see is that, yes, Indian Red is much more opaque than Lunar Red Rock. The hue is very similar, but Lunar Red Rock seems to lean the slightest bit more brown, I would say. Well, Indian Red seems to be leaning on the more like violet side, but Lunar Red Rock looks to be just the slightest bit more of a brown than Indian Red. In terms of granulation, Lunar Red Rock does look like it granulates more heavily or more clearly than Indian Red does. And I'm not sure if this has to do with its opacity and pigmentation, but Indian Red seems to be higher tinting than Lunar Red Rock. Personally, for me, I think if I were to buy one of these two, because I already love Indian Red's hue, but I'm not a big fan of how Indian Reds are more opaque in general, and the fact that it's also super high tinting, I think the combination of those two just, you know, I prefer something less opaque, and I think Lunar Red Rock might be the answer to that. So if you've been using Indian Red and you've always thought like, if only Indian Red was less opaque or less strong tinting, then I would definitely like Indian Red much more, then I think you should try Lunar Red Rock. It's the same pigment and it's also the same series, so why not give it a try? And of course, I'll scan these and put them right after this so you could stay and watch for that. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to drink lots of water and stay hydrated.